So hello and welcome to this hour-long mindful flow this morning. We're going to be starting in a comfortable seat. You could cross your legs, extend them out in front, just do whatever feels most intuitive for you this morning. Have a sense of lengthening up super tall through the crown of the head. Just soften the shoulders away from the ears, maybe even close the eyes if that feels good for you. Just take a few moments here. Start to tune into how you're breathing. Begin to find stillness through your body. So there's a sense that the energy, the prana in your body is settling. Just start to move into where you're at right now. So noticing if your attention is drawn to any specific areas. Perhaps you're holding a little bit of tightness or tension through the physical body. Notice how your mind is today as well. Are your thoughts running through at speed? Does the mind feel a bit foggy? Or does it feel easy to have a moment of clarity? Does it feel easy to focus on the coming and going of your breath? And the theme I've been running through all yoga classes this week is the idea of having control both on and off our yoga mat. So let's just start to control the breath to begin with. Perhaps drawing a restriction into the back of the throat as you switch on your ujjayi breath. Allow the breath to become a little louder. If ujjayi breath isn't resonating with you this morning, that's fine. Just take nice, deep diaphragmatic belly breaths. So yesterday I was talking a little bit about how the only thing that we can truly control, both on and off our yoga mat, is our reactions to what goes on around us. And that can be easier said than done sometimes, certainly. And last night I was doing a little bit of reading and I came across the niyama of tapas. Tapas isn't just delicious Spanish food. It's also an ethical guideline in yogic principles. It's about discipline and internal heat. And I often talk quite a lot about Agni, our internal fire, that kind of motivation, that fire in the belly that we have. And our tapas is our courage to change what we can and our discipline to take action towards a goal. So as we move into some binding postures today, maybe a little bit tricky, maybe also some standing binding postures, have the courage to do what you can and know that that is enough. Without our tapas, without this drive, there's no change, physically, mentally, or spiritually. And tapas helps us to remember to keep getting on the mat, to keep fighting the good fight. So whether that fight this morning is with some tricky postures, whether it's just staying on the mat and not letting the mind wander elsewhere. Practicing this is so important, so that when stuff happens off the mat, when we see things that really make us feel discouraged, disheartened, lose our faith in humanity, at least we can tap into this internal fire that we have and know that we have the power. Even when we feel powerless, we do have the power to change what's around us, to set an example to others perhaps. So if there's anything that resonates with you this morning, perhaps a different intention or something that relates to what I've been talking about that you want to take into your agony, to take into your internal fire today and use as your motivation, and just take a moment here, contemplating that intention, allowing the breath to grow stronger, to grow deeper. And then gradually flickering the eyes open. Okay, so I'd like you to either cross your left shin in front of your right. Otherwise, if you have a half lotus practice and you can bring the top of the left foot to the top of the right thigh, you're welcome to take that option. Left hand will come behind us, so we're reaching toward the top of the right hip. Or you could take hold of your waistband if that feels a little too far for you this morning. And just take a deep breath in and stretch the right arm up alongside your ear. Have a moment as you inhale to root down through right sit bone and then gently stretch all the way up and over toward the left side. And it may feel good here to relax the neck and just allow the left ear to move down toward left shoulder. Unclench your jaw. And keep listening into the sound of your breath. Feeling a gentle opening through the right side of the body. Well done. On your next inhale, rise all the way back up to the top. Let the right hand cross over the left knee. And if you can take hold of the top of the left foot, if you're in lotus position, feel free to do that. As you inhale, lengthen up through crown of the head. Exhale, soften your shoulders away from the ears. And just start to take a gentle twist through your body. So give your body the time and space it needs to open up. Try to avoid pulling yourself deeper into the twist. Well done. Inhale, come all the way back to face the front. And let's change the cross of the leg. So this time it's the right shin in front of the left, or if you can take half lotus in your legs, feel free to do so. Right hand wraps around to take hold of your waistband or maybe reach toward the top of the left hip. And as you breathe in, the left arm stretches up alongside the ear. Press down through left sit bone as you reach up, out, and over to the right side. Relax your neck. Right ear, right shoulder. Jaw is soft. And the side body is gently lengthening here. Perhaps see if you can gently soften shoulder blades away from the ears a little further. Can you relax into the muscles of your face? Well done. Breathe in, come up to the top. Exhale, moving into your twist. Left hand comes onto the right thigh. If you can take hold of the top of your right foot, you're welcome to take that lotus bind. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, locate those spaces that you can soften, the shoulders, the jaw, the belly. And take your twist nice and gently here. If you're moving into resistance, just come back slightly, finding your edge, breathing into that space. Again, knowing that you have full control of where you take your poses today. Inhale, come all the way back to center. Change the cross of the legs one more time. I'd like you to take hold of your strap or your makeshift strap. Taking the strap a good kind of shoulder distance apart in the hands. And as you breathe in, take a nice big stretch of the arms up toward the ceiling. I'll come sideways onto this. Draw the shoulders up to the ears, really scrunch them up tall, and then roll the shoulders back and down. Start to bring your strap behind the back of the head, bend into the elbows, and I want you to really pull that strap in opposite directions here. Tuck chin to chest and breathe into the back of your shoulders. Deep breaths in. Deep breaths out. Good. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, take the hands down in front of you. Now you might want to make that space between the hands slightly shorter for a bit of an extra challenge. Second round, inhale, rise the arms up. Shoulders to ears, roll the shoulders back and down. And then bend into the elbows, maybe taking the elbows at right angles here. Remember, you're having that sense of pulling the strap or your makeshift strap in opposite directions, creating a little bit of traction, resistance. Tuck chin to chest, nice big breaths into the back of your shoulders here. Really hear your breath here. One more inhale. Exhale, arms up. Hands out in front. Take a rest for a moment or two. Last time. Again, you can make that space between the hands even shorter. I always find that there's kind of like an optimal distance where you get a really, really juicy opening. When you're ready, inhale, arms up. Shoulders to ears, scrunch up, roll them back and down. Bend into the elbows, creating those right angles through the elbows, pulling the strap in opposite directions. Tuck chin to chest, breathing into that broadness across the front chest, that opening through the neck and the shoulders. Good, and then gently lifting up, releasing, pop your belt over to one side. Really well done. Maybe give the shoulders a little bit of a roll out if they need it. And from here, let's start to make our way onto our hands and knees. So take a moment, make sure bottom stacks over top of the knees. We're going to move straight into Anahatasana, puppy pose. So again, another nice one for opening up the shoulders. Start to walk the hands out in front of you to allow the heart space to begin to drop down toward the floor. And you may find here that the forehead can quite comfortably come down onto the mat. Or if you're quite open through your shoulders, you might be able to bring your chin to the floor and look forwards. So just find a nice, comfortable space for you. Have a sense of literally handing the upper body over to gravity here. Drawing you down toward the floor. Remembering your breath control, exhaling nice and deeply. Switching on the parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest, which allows you to open up even more. Good, one more inhale. Press through the palms, lift the chest slightly. We're going to slide all the way forwards onto our tummy now. So legs extend out along the mat. I'd like you to bring your arms out so that elbows are bent in line with the shoulders. We're lying flat down to the floor, forehead to the mat. I'll come this way on so that it's a bit easier to see. Okay. So we've got our chest toward the floor, forehead on the mat. Start to lift up the right toes, bend the right knee, and then you're going to see if you can tap your right toes over to the floor on the left side here. Nice deep opening for left shoulder. If right foot can touch down to the floor and you'd like to here, you can stretch the right arm up and over as well, just to increase that opening through the front of your left shoulder. And deep breaths in And deep breaths out. And one more. Good. Spiral round, so belly's flat to the floor. Both legs are extended. Bless you. Second side. Lift the left leg up, bend the knee. Ooh. And then see if you can tap the left toes down to the floor behind you. So nice opening for the front of the right shoulder here. If you can, left hand sweeps around, so you want to tap the floor behind you. Chest moves forwards, nice deep breaths in, deep breaths out. This is quite an intense posture, quite an intense opening. So just adjust yourself as you need to in order to find your edge, to find that space where you can breathe comfortably, but you're still feeling a deep stretch or a deep challenge. One more big breath in. And then exhale, come all the way back onto your belly. Well done. Hands under shoulders. Press all the way up and back, finding your way into downward facing dog. And taking a moment in your down dog, maybe you're pedaling out through the feet here, wiggling through the hips, whatever you need to do to start to open up into the backs of your legs. Remember, the hands are spread super wide. We're pressing down through each knuckle of our hands. Relax the neck. Well done. On your next inhale, find stillness through the legs. Sweep your right leg up toward the ceiling. Now bend the right knee to open up through the hip. We're going to take 3 circles around. So imagine that you're drawing a big circle with the right knee. 3 enormous circles in one direction and 3 enormous circles in the opposite direction. Get out any clicks or pops in the hip. And then after those last 3 big circles, find your way back to the starting position. Look forwards. Step your right foot to the outer edge of right hand and gently lower the back knee down. Lizard lunge. So nice big breath in. On your exhale, you have the option here to soften into the elbows. Maybe you're coming down onto the forearms. If you're staying up on the hands, that's fine too. Soften chin to chest and squeeze into your bottom as you sink the hips down. Option to stay exactly as you are. If you'd like to move toward a bind here, reach your right arm out behind you to twist through the upper body. Maybe you're bending the left knee to take hold of the top of your foot. And you can be down on the forearm as you do this as well. So nice deep inhale into center of chest, spiraling heart space open. Maybe you're just gently drawing left heel slightly closer into your bottom. Relaxing the neck. Good, and then gently release. Spiral your hands to the floor, step back, find high plank. Exhale, lower both knees down to the floor, belly draws in, half chaturanga. Keep squeezing elbows tight to side ribs. Inhale, cobra pose, shoulders roll away from the ears, lift up through the heart space. And then exhale, come down, take it back into your downward facing dog. Deep breaths in. Deep exhales. Inhale, left leg lifts high. Bend your knee to open up through your hip. Now drawing your big circles with your left knee just to start to mobilize through the left hip, nice and slowly. Once you've taken 3 circles in one direction, revolve the knee back in the opposite direction as well. Maybe paying attention to any differences there are in the left hip from the right. Finding some stillness as you come back to that starting position. Look forward, step left foot to the outer edge of left hand. Drop the back knee down, moving into our lizard lunge here. Deep inhale. Exhale, option to soften through the elbows. Maybe bring forearms to floor if that's there for you this morning. Soften chin to chest, lengthen through the back of the neck. Deep, deep breaths here. So again, thinking about that tapas, thinking about changing what we can. Stepping into our power whenever we need to, whether it's in our yoga practice or if it's off the mat. Again, if you came into that twist on the first side, you're welcome to here. Left arm stretches out behind, open up through the heart space. Maybe you're bending the right knee and taking hold of the top of your foot. Remember, you can always use your strap here as well if you can't quite grab the top of the foot. Relax the neck, deep, deep breaths. If you're twisting, roll the left shoulder back, open the heart space to sky, unclenching your jaw. Inhale fully. Exhale, release the back foot if you have the bind. Spiral hands to floor, step back, high plank. Exhale, either lowering the knees or moving through full chaturanga if you prefer. Inhale, open heart space, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale to downward facing. Lengthen the heels down to the mat, open up through backs of legs. Deep inhale, soften your knees, look forwards, step, hop or float to the top of your mat. Find a forward fold here. Slight bend in the knee so that torso and thighs are in contact. Big inhale. Exhale, let the head go, hang down. Now interlace the hands behind your back. Palms of the hands draw together, shoulders roll away from the ears, and you're reaching out through the arms. See if you can allow the arms to be drawn forwards and down. If the feet are parted, heel toe them together side by side. Inhale, bend your knees, Utkatasana, keeping the arms in this position. Take the weight into your heels. See if it's possible to keep your chest as close to your thighs as you can. You're nice and deep into your chair. Now fixate your drishti on one still spot in front of you. Take the weight into your right foot and stretch your left leg back into warrior three. If possible, both hips face the floor. Deep breath in. Exhale, bend your left knee. See if you can tap into the back of your right knee. Inhale, lengthen left leg away. Exhale, left knee taps to the back of right knee. Inhale, stretch away. One last time, exhale, bend the left knee, tap the back of the right. Inhale to warrior three. And then exhale, step your left foot back, find warrior two legs here. Release the arms, reach your right hand to the sky for archer arms. Right hand comes to the space between your shoulder blades, left hand sweeps up and around. If you can't grab opposite fingertips, use your strap or take hold of two different spaces on your top. Inhale, stretch the elbows away from one another to broaden your chest. Exhale, sink a little deeper into your front knee and then lengthen through right side body by reversing the warrior in upper body. Big breaths in. Deep exhales. Press through the outer edge of your front foot. Encourage that external rotation through the right thigh. Good. Inhale, come up to the top, release the arms. Right forearm travels to right thigh, left arm sweeps up alongside the ear. Find your way into your side angle pose. Okay, from here, let's play around with binding. So if you know that you're not going to be able to catch opposite fingertips, please do use your belt here. Left hand comes behind the low back. Right fingertips go underneath the right leg to catch hold of opposite hand. And once you have your bind, whether or not you're using your strap, try to lift the upper body away. I always straighten out through the arms slightly, which allows me to get a deeper rotation through the torso. Nice deep breaths here. So rather than collapsing upper body down toward the right thigh, we're lifting up through the chest. Take a deep breath in. Moving to bound triangle by pressing through the front heel and maybe beginning to straighten through the front leg a little bit more. Now this will depend on how open the hamstrings are. So don't worry if you've still got quite a deep bend in the front knee. Just have the intention. doing what you can, changing what you can. Well done. One more enormous inhale. Exhale, bend into the right knee once more. Spiral your hands down to the mat, step back into high plank. You could even keep the right foot floating as you move through your vinyasa. Finding your way back into downward facing dog. Doing what you can, letting go of what you can't change. What you can't change right now. It's all about those small actions, those small steps. Inhale, soften both knees, look ahead, step hop or float yourself to the top of your mat. Find your forward fold, heel toe your feet together. Gaze to belly button. Take the hands behind the back, interlace your fingers. Reaching the arms up and overhead, finding that gorgeous stretch out for the back of your neck and shoulders. Think about weight moving into the toes here. Good, now inhale, bend the knees, finding your Utkatasana, your chair pose. Sit low into your chair. Now take the weight back toward the heels so that the toes could lift up away from the floor. Stay with your deep breath. Weight moves into left foot, right leg stretches out behind as you find warrior three. Keep reaching through that back heel, back leg is really active. On your exhale, bend the right knee, tap the back of the left knee. Inhale, re-extend right leg. Exhale, bend right knee, tap the back of the left. This is always my weaker side. Inhale, stretch the right leg out and away. Warrior three. Last time, exhale, bend the right knee, tap the back of the left knee. Inhale, stretch the right leg out and away, warrior three. And now step back to find warrior two legs. Good. Left arm reaches up toward the ceiling, arch your arms. So left hand comes in between the shoulder blade, right hand sweeps around. Remember, you can use your strap here to close the gap, or you could hold on to two different spaces on your top. Inhale, send the elbows in opposite directions. Exhale, sink low into your front knee, take that reverse through the upper body by lengthening through the left side body, reaching your left elbow to the space behind you. Stay with your gorgeously deep breath. Again, focusing on everything that you can do here. Building yourself up, empowering yourself throughout your yoga practice. Good, deep inhale. Rise all the way back up to the top. Release the grip on the hands. Left forearm to left thigh, side angle pose. Right arm reaches up alongside the ear. So open up through the upper body. Think about trying to spiral heart space to sky. Now from here, moving into our bind. So using belt if you need to. Right hand comes behind, left hand comes underneath. So you can take your belt between the hands if you have it. And then you're pressing through the feet, lifting up through your chest and thinking about revolving heart space to sky. Take your time here, stay with the breath, there's no rush. So again, think about pressing the mat away. So we're keeping the left hip space nice and open. Well done, inhale deeply. Exhale, press through the left heel, begin to straighten your left leg into bound triangle. Again, don't worry if the left hamstring is really, really tight this morning. You might still have a deep bend in the left knee. Just do what you can. Try to keep that length through the side waist. Maybe even take a little smile. Good, bending into the left knee, releasing the bind. Hands to floor, step back, high plank. Remember, you can keep left leg floating for your chaturanga if you prefer. Moving with breath, finding your way back into your downward facing dog. Take a big inhale, full exhale, just clearing the space in your mind, letting go. Good, inhale, right leg to ceiling. Bend your right knee, open up through the hip. On your exhale, take right knee to left elbow, cross over the body. Moving into fallen triangle from here. Right leg extends out, left arm reaches up toward the ceiling. Open up through your chest. Option to stay here. If you can come deeper, see if you can float your right foot away from the floor slightly. Perhaps see if you can take hold of the outer edge of your right foot with your left hand. And then as you stretch the sole of the foot forwards, eventually you're gazing underneath your left armpit. Good. If you have the bind, gently release. Take hands down to the floor. Let's step forwards, right foot between the hands. Pyramid legs here. You might want to take your stance slightly shorter. Deep inhale, ground your left heel down to the floor, lift the right toes back and towards you. If the floor feels far away, you could take blocks underneath your hands. Now relax your head down, relax your neck. Outer left hip is wrapping forwards here. Deep breaths in. Exhale, allow yourself to sink into it. We have a habit in life of making things more difficult for ourselves than they need to be. And if yoga's taught me one thing, it's like softening into stuff is always the best way. Always looking for the easier way out of things. Because more than often there is one. Good. Inhale, lift the chest, look forward. Bit of a funky transition here. I want you to ground the front foot down to the floor. Draw the left knee towards you, and we're going to step this left foot all the way through and come down onto the bottom. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm going to swivel myself around. So again, you may need the strap here. If you're rounding through low back, take a cushion, something underneath the seat. So the sole of your right foot is a good kind of hand's distance away from the top of the left thigh. The knee is bent nice and deeply. I want you to inhale and stretch up through your right fingertips. Reach your right hand in the direction of your left foot, and then you're going to turn your palm to face the sidewalk, so the opposite way. And we're wrapping the arm around our right leg. Now this is where you may or may not need your strap. See if you can now take your left hand and connect with your right, or maybe use your strap to close that gap. Inhale, lift up through your chest. See if you can gently square your heart space toward the front of your mat, and then exhale, forward fold. Now keep your left toes flexing really strongly here. Back of the left leg is extended. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Beautiful. Inhale, lift up through the chest. Now release the bind, cross your right foot over the left, coming into Matsyendrasana. If you're able to also bend the left knee as well, you're welcome to. I'll come sideways on again. Inhale, stretch your left arm up toward the ceiling, lengthen through spine. Exhale, cross your left elbow over the right knee. Begin to twist. Now right fingertips are nice and close toward the seat so that you can find more length. And again here, if you'd like to bind, I'd probably take the belt into the back hand. This front hand is going to go through the gap, reaching around, maybe catching opposite fingertips or catching hold of the strap. Good. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, turn through the body. Good. 2 more. Well done. Gently release. Pop your strap to the side. Stretch your left leg out in front again. Either coming into Janu Shirshasana, so the sole of the right foot to the top of the left thigh. If you're able to take it into half lotus, you're very welcome to. If this knee's high away from the floor, you can always pop something underneath it. Now, if you're in your half lotus, reach around. So you're seeing if you can catch the top of your left foot or maybe your waistband. Inhale, reach up through both arms or through the left arm if you have the bind, and then exhale, forward fold. So catching hold of your shin, your ankle, or maybe even your foot. Again here, remember, when we have our strap, we can always use that around the foot if you prefer. Chin to chest, deep breaths in. Deep breaths out. Soften into your jaw, soften into your shoulders. Binding is all about that mobility in the shoulder. So see if you can really try to soften into that space to allow the shoulders to open up a little bit more. Good. One more deep breath in. Exhale, rising all the way up to the top. If you have the bind, release. Now you're either going to cross your left shin in front of your right, legs are crossed, or coming into full lotus if you have it in your practice. Now if your legs are crossed, you're going to draw the knees into the chest, hold on to the knees. We're going to take 3 rocks and rolls back and forwards. 1, 2, and on the third one, tuck the heels in, see if you can spring yourself back into your high plank and take it through your vinyasa. So taking your time, taking your 1er, your 2er, your 3er, little hop back into high plank, moving through your vinyasa, downward facing dog, let it go. Really, really nice work. Good, yes, we're all there. Inhale, left leg high. Bend the knee, open up through the hip. Exhale, left knee, right elbow, take it across the body, fallen triangle. So the left leg extends, sole of the right foot grounds, right arm reaches high. Nice IT band opener here. If you're coming deeper, maybe you're floating the left foot away from the mat. Maybe you can take hold of the left foot with the right hand, stretching the sole of the foot forwards, gazing underneath the armpit. Good, wherever you're at, gently stepping your left foot between your hands, pyramid legs. So remember, you're welcome to take the stance shorter here so that you can ground the back foot down to the floor. Deep breath in. Exhale, start to flex through your left toes, maybe even lifting the sole of the foot away from the floor if you can, and forward folding over your left leg. Lick your lips to relax into your jaw. Deep Ujjayi breath, deep diaphragmatic breath. Good, moving into our little funky transition here. Inhale, look forwards, ground your left foot to the floor, draw the right knee towards you, and then sweep your right leg through so that you can come all the way down onto your bottom. Yes, well done. Nice and smooth. So here, sole of the foot's about a hand distance away from the top of the opposite leg. Inhale, lengthen left fingertips to sky, reach forwards in the direction of your right foot. The palm of the hand is going to switch to face the opposite direction. You're wrapping the left arm around, either grabbing hold of opposite hand or you're using your strap to connect your 2 hands. Inhale, draw the right shoulder forwards if you can. You can be slightly rounded here, that's fine for this posture. Exhale, flex through the right toes and gently start to draw yourself forwards. So this is a forward fold rather than a twist. Good. Keep opening up through the back of your right leg. Inhaling. Exhaling. Good. One more deep breath in. Exhale, release your bind, come all the way up. Moving into Ardha Matsyendrasana or Matsyendrasana. Sole of the left foot crosses over the right leg. If you can, bending the right knee also. I'll swivel myself around. This time, inhale, it's the right arm that lifts high. Right elbow crosses over the left knee. You can either stay here. If you're binding, you're threading your right hand through that little gap between your leg. Left hand sweeps around to take hold of opposite fingertips, or again, just use your strap here to bind those 2 hands together. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Soften through shoulders, relax the jaw. 2 more here. So if you have the bind, you'll have to press the sole of your left foot more deeply into the floor. And for me, that's always a really nice opening into the IT band. Good, gently start to unravel, well done. Stretch your right leg out in front of you again. So you're either coming into Janu Shashasana, so again, that's the sole of the foot to top of thigh, or you're coming into your half lotus. Remember, if this knee's high away in half lotus, you can pop something underneath it. If you're in half lotus, you can either hold onto waistband or reach to grab hold of the top of the foot. Inhale, stretch your right arm up, and then exhale, hinge yourself forwards. Again, you can use your strap here. Got a little cat invasion going on. Wait till he pops out. Hello. Hello. Are you joining in, Clarence? Deep breaths in. Deep breaths out. One more. Good, and then inhale, release, come all the way up, and as you exhale, hands down to the floor. So remember, we're either coming into full lotus if you've got it, or you're going to cross your right shin in front of your left, and we're taking our 3 little rocks and rolls up and down the spine. So you're taking your 1-er, 2-er, and on your 3rd one, roll yourself forwards and hop yourself back into your vinyasa. Come on then. Good boy. Meeting back in downward facing dog. Deep breath in through your nose. Deep sigh out through your mouth. Let it go. Let go of your neck. Relax the neck. Good. Okay, big inhale. Soften your knees. Look forward. Step, hop, or float yourself to the top of your mat once more. And now we're going to heel toe the feet until they're mat width apart. So turning your toes out slightly, your heels in slightly, starting to bend into your knees. So you're either staying up here or you're moving down into Malasana if you can. So the knees will kind of snugly fit around the upper arms, breathing nice and deeply. So again here, moving into a bind. Left hand down to floor, right arm up to sky, lift up through the chest. So if you're up here, again, you're doing the same thing. You're opening up through the heart space. Let's take the bind. Right hand comes behind the back. Now the left hand is going to come underneath the left leg, and you're going to reach for opposite hand. So again, take your belt if you need to make that bind. Now, I hate to be crude, but try not to do this. You want your bind to be behind the back of your left leg. So it might be that you're staying here today, otherwise we're moving to a bird of paradise. So turn your feet parallel, maybe heel toe your feet slightly closer together. Eventually taking the weight into the right foot, lifting the left leg up. So be patient here. As you rise up, maybe you'll come to a point where it's possible to lengthen out through your left leg. Yeah, lovely, Karen, really nice. Well done, Alex. Keep breathing nice and deeply. Good, gently come down. Now from here, I'd like you to step your right foot back. So again, we're in this kind of bound side angle pose. Left foot forwards, right leg is back. It's like a warrior 2 stance in the legs, side angle bind. Now, moving into a bound Ardha Chandrasana. This is quite tricky. Take your gaze slightly further forwards of your front foot. Now lift up through your chest. Slowly start to creep your back toes in, and then see if it's possible to lift the right foot away from the floor. Now the right foot may only lift an inch or so. You might be able to hold it up there. You want to think about pulling up through the thigh, pointing through the toes. Deep breaths in, deep breaths out. Yes, well done, lovely, good. And then release the foot down. Release the bind. Step forwards into your Malasana once more. Just take a moment here to reset. Nice inhale. Breathe out through the mouth, let it go. Well done. So let's take it to the second side now. So this time it's the right hand that comes down to the floor, the left arm which reaches up toward the ceiling, open the chest, left hand comes behind, right arm comes underneath that right leg. And remember, you're trying to find the bind behind the back of the right leg rather than kind of like around your groin area between the legs. So use the belt if you need. Turn the feet parallel. Slowly, slowly, weight moves into left foot this time. Take your time to rise up. When you're standing tall, maybe seeing whether you can start to extend out through the right leg. Fabulous. And then gently, slowly coming back down, coming into that bound side angle pose. So step the left foot back, right leg is forwards. Warrior two stance through the legs. You have your bind. Now turn your gaze down, just slightly forwards of your front foot. Be patient with yourself here. Step the back toes in a little way. As you gently transfer the weight into your front foot, see if you can float your left toes away from the floor. Well done, yes. Really good. And then gently release. Let's take the hands down to the floor. Step back through a vinyasa. Just wipe the slate of your mind clean. Well done. They're very, very tricky poses. Come back into your downward facing dog. And then soften into your knees. Look forwards. Step or hop your feet forwards. And let's take our legs nice and wide into a straddle. Well done. So before we take it down, I'd like you to bend into your knees slightly in your straddle and allow your upper body to hang forwards between your legs. So you can either just pause here, walking your fingertips out in front, otherwise coming more into a Supta Kamasana. So you're sliding your hands underneath those little gaps that you've created underneath your knees. And then from there, maybe you're sliding your heels forwards and gently, slowly allow gravity to draw your heart space a little closer down toward the floor. Relax your neck. Deep breaths in. Deep breaths out. So eventually, again, this posture becomes a bind. So if you're in your Supta Kamasana, hopefully the palms of your hands will be facing the floor, but eventually what you'll be able to do is flip the palms of the hands to the sky and then reach your hands behind your low back. And reach for the opposite fingertips. It's quite tricky to do without being assisted into it. So just taking a final few nice big breaths here, allow your prana to start to settle. Good. If you're in your Supta Kamasana, maybe just drag the heels back a little bit to create a bigger gap to bring the hands out of, and then gently bring the legs back together. Give them a little shake out. Well done. And we'll take the soles of the feet to the top of the mat and slowly, gently release all the way down onto our back. As you arrive there, just give your knees a good hug into the chest. Take a rock from left to right. Really, really nicely done. Now, before we come down into Shavasana, I'd like us to come through a couple of back bends today. So you can either take 2 bridges, maybe even 1 long supported bridge, 2 wheels, 1 of each, whatever feels good for you. So if you have a favorite bridge variation or wheel variation, please do feel free to take it. But if you want to have, again, a little bit more of a play with this binding concept, I'm going to take you through 1 bound bridge variation and 1 bound wheel variation. So feet are hip distance apart as they normally would be for your bridge pose. Heels super close in towards your bottom, and you're going to reach your hands down and take hold of your ankles. Now, I can't always grab the front of my ankles, but you should be able to hold on to the back, kind of like where your heels are. And take a nice deep inhale. And then exhale, press down through the heels and lift up through the chest. So you're keeping hold of the heels if possible. And you can, from here, just walk the shoulder blades under a little bit deeper to send your heart space up towards your chin. Breathing here. And when you have this connection, this hold onto the feet, perhaps it feels a little bit easier to engage the hamstrings, that sense of trying to energetically draw the heels back toward the shoulders. Of course, you can keep the arms wide and release the bind if you prefer. Otherwise, keep thinking about lengthening through the tops of the thighs, creating a bit more space in the low back. One more deep breath in. And then exhale, release, come all the way down onto your back. Take constructive rest, so the feet are mat width, the knees just knocked together. In our bridge pose, even though it's perhaps slightly softer than other back bends, we still get this zing of energy, this zing of prana. So just taking a moment to absorb that, to feel that. Okay, so again, you have the option to take whatever variations you like, but I'll just talk you through how you get into an upside down Dhanurasana if you want to take this variation of wheel. So same setup with the feet, hands down by the side body this time. You'll press up into your bridge pose, hands either side of the head to come all the way up into Urdhva Dhanurasana. And then from there, lower the crown of the head down to the floor. Take hold of your ankles where you can again, and then press down through the soles of the feet to send your heart space further forwards. So having a little go if you'd like to. Obviously, as you come down, you'll need to release the hands either side of the head. So taking your time to come up into whichever variation you want to come into today. And if you're in that upside down Dhanurasana, really press your chest forwards, press down through the heels. And you can feel that work in your legs. 2 more enormous breaths here. Good. If you're in upside down Dhanurasana, hands down to the floor so that you can tuck chin to chest, bring yourself down with control. And again, just come into constructive rest. So feet are mat width, knees knocked together. Maybe letting go of your Ujjayi breath now. Just moving into your normal, natural rhythm of breath. Excellent work. Take both knees in towards you. Stretch your left leg out along the floor, interlacing the hands over your right shin. And let's move into a twist. So guiding the right knee across the body with the left hand, extending the right arm out alongside the shoulder. Just softening into your belly as you twist through the spine. Maybe closing the eyes or perhaps even gazing toward right fingertips. And then inhale to come all the way back up to center. Let's switch sides. Left knee in, right leg away. Hug the left knee in for a moment and then guide your left knee across the body with your right hand. Your left arm lengthens out alongside your shoulder. Maybe you're gazing up, maybe you're gazing to your left hand, or perhaps even the eyes are closed. Just feel the weight of the back of your shoulders in the floor. Soften into your belly. And tell yourself it's okay to let go. Well done. Gently come all the way back up to center and release into your final shavasana. So legs could be extended. If you have sensitivity in low back, maybe you're coming into Supta Baddha Konasana or constructive rest again. Make whatever little movements or adjustments that you need to get totally comfortable. And once you've found your way there, just gently allow your eyes to close. Give yourself permission to rest. Rest with a sense of well-deserved release. Offer gratitude for your efforts today. What happens on our mat shows us what can happen off our mat. Consider where you might bring the lesson and practice of perseverance into other areas of your life. So if you have a little longer for your shavasana today, please feel free to stay as you are for as long as you can and just soak it up. But if you do need to be making your way, take a moment or two, deepening the breath, drawing awareness back into your fingertips and your toes before giving them a little bit of a wiggle around. And eventually take a nice full body stretch, reach the arms above the head, stretch the legs out along the mat. Perhaps on an exhale, you're just drawing the knees into your chest gently before you're rolling yourself over to one side. And just pause there for a moment in a fetal position. Take a final opportunity just to check into that internal fire, that tapas, that ability that we all have to be the change that we want to see in the world, even on days when that just feels impossible. And whenever you feel ready, come up into your comfortable seat with your prayer hands at your heart center and just bow your chin into your chest. And we'll seal the energy of our practice today with the sound of Om. If you'd like to join, inhale with me through your nose. Om. Lengthen up nice and tall. Peace in your thoughts. Prayer hands moving in front of your lips. Peace in your words and in front of your heart. Peace in your actions. Namaste, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me on the mat today. Such a pleasure to have you. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your Wednesday, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you so much.